Impact Wrestling results April 7, 22 First match, Trey Miguel vs Chris Bay vs Jordynne Grace vs Rich Swann vs Blake Christian vs Vincent in an Ultimate X match for the Impact X Division Championship. All hell starts breaking loose after the bell rings. Bay sends Vincent crashing to the outside. Bay, Grace, Swann, and Christian are scaling the red cables. Grace with a Hurricane Rana. Grace powerbombs Christian. Grace dodges the pump kick. Grace delivers her combination offense. Grace reverses out of the Irish whip from Vincent. Grace ducks a clothesline from Vincent. Grace lands the suicide dive. Miguel ducks under two clotheslines from Vincent. Vincent sends Miguel into the ropes. Miguel with a running Hurricane Rana. Miguel scales up the support beams. Bay and Swann pulls Miguel off the cables. Swann with the roundhouse kick. Miguel responds with the rolling elbow. Swann super kicks Miguel. Bay with a pump knee strike. Miguel super kicks Bay. Miguel uses Swann's legs as a weapon. Bay with the spinning roundhouse kick. Bay poses for the crowd. Bay kicks Grace in the chest. Bay with a step up ends Widgery. Grace uppercuts Bay. Grace with a muscle buster / lariat combination. Christian with a roll through frog splash. Christian follows that with the rolling Death Valley driver. Christian with the running Meteora. Christian scales the red cables. Miguel runs interference. Miguel with the scorpion kick. Miguel drops Christian with the swinging fisherman's neck breaker. Miguel with the suicide dive. Miguel crawls toward the title. Miguel gets ripped down by Vincent. Vincent with a jumping knee strike. Vincent with a belly-to-back suplex. Vincent follows that with the flatliner. Vincent slowly scales the cables. Swann with the windmill kick. Swann drops Vincent with the handspring cutter. Bay runs interference. Bay with the spine buster. Bay hits the art of finesse. Bay and Christian are trading back and forth kicks. Christian drills Bay with the Canadian Destroyer. Christian with a handspring kick to Grace. Miguel drop kicks Christian. Miguel lands the somersault plancha. Christian with another handspring kick. Christian delivers the cannonball senton off the steel truss. Miguel and Grace are scaling the red cables. Miguel repeatedly kicks Grace in the back. Vincent pulls Grace down to the mat. Miguel unhooks the title to pick up the victory. Winner, still Impact X Division Champion, Trey Miguel. Second match, Tomohiro Ishii vs Eddie Edwards. Collar and elbow tie up. Ishii backs Edwards into the ropes. The referee calls for a clean break. Edwards ducks under a chop from Ishii. Strong lock up. Chop exchange. Edwards kicks Ishii in the gut. Edwards applies a side headlock. Ishii whips Edwards across the ring. Edwards runs into Ishii. Shoulder block exchange. Edwards with a blistering chop. Ishii drops Edwards with a shoulder tackle. Edwards reverses out of the Irish whip from Ishii. Ishii with a desperation boot. Edwards kicks Ishii in the face. Ishii reverses out of the Irish whip from Edwards. Edwards holds onto the ropes. Edwards dumps Ishii out of the ring. Edwards lands the suicide dive. Edwards resets the referee's 10 count. Edwards drives Ishii face first into the steel barricade. Ishii reverses out of the Irish whip from Edwards. Ishii power slams Edwards on the floor. Ishii punches Edwards in the back. Forearm exchange. Edwards with a step up ends Widgery. Edwards drops Ishii with the DDT on the ring apron. Edwards rolls Ishii back into the ring. Edwards hooks the outside leg for a 2 count. Edwards talks smack to the crowd. Edwards stomps on Ishii's back. Edwards unloads 3 knife-edge chops. Ishii headbutts the midsection of Edwards. Edwards with a double sledge. Ishii with a counter vertical suplex. Second chop exchange. Ishii with a chop / forearm combination. Edwards reverses out of the Irish whip from Ishii. Ishii ducks under a chop from Edwards. Ishii with the backdrop driver for a 2 count. Ishii applies a waist lock. Edwards with 2 sharp elbow strikes. Edwards with a running forearm smash. Edwards hits the Blue Thunder Bomb for a 2 count. Ishii denies the Tiger Driver. Ishii with a back body drop. Edwards sidesteps Ishii into the turnbuckles. Ishii kicks Edwards in the face. Edwards with a step-up enziguri. Edwards puts Ishii on the top turnbuckle. Ishii with clubbing headbutts. Edwards answers with another enziguri. Ishii denies the backpack stunner. Ishii with a corner clothesline. Ishii blocks a boot from Edwards. Edwards ducks a clothesline from Ishii. Edwards superkicks Ishii. German suplex exchange. Lariat exchange. Edwards with a corner clothesline. Ishii refuses to stay down. Ishii leans into forearms from Edwards. Ishii headbutts Edwards. Edwards denies the sliding lariat. Edwards with clubbing knee strikes. The referee checks on Ishii. Edwards with a running forearm smash. Edwards connects with the Tiger Driver for a 2 count. Ishii denies the Boston Knee Party. Ishii drops Edwards with the Shining Wizard. Ishii with the sliding lariat for a 2 count. Edwards denies the vertical drop brainbuster. Ishii with a forearm smash. Edwards kicks the right shoulder of Ishii. Edwards superkicks Ishii. Edwards delivers the Boston Knee Party. Edwards goes for the Die Hard Party, but Ishii lands back on his feet. Ishii headbutts Edwards. Ishii with a step-up enziguri. Edwards with the rolling elbow. Ishii clotheslines Edwards for a 2 count. Ishii plants Edwards with the vertical drop brainbuster to pick up the victory. Winner, Tomohiro Ishii via pinfall. Third match, Josh Alexander and Jonah vs Moose and PCO. PCO attacks Alexander before the bell rings. PCO is throwing haymakers at Alexander. PCO rakes the back of Alexander. PCO applies the cravate against the top rope. PCO uppercuts Alexander. PCO sends Alexander to the corner. Alexander decks PCO with a back elbow smash. Alexander with a running boot. Jonah tags himself in. Alexander doesn't seem to be happy about that. The referee is trying to get Alexander out of the ring. Alexander and Jonah repeatedly stomps on PCO's chest. PCO ducks a clothesline from Alexander. Lariat exchange. Jonah flexes his muscles. Moose tags himself in. Moose runs into Jonah. Jonah drops Moose with a shoulder tackle. Moose pops back on his feet. Moose with forearm shivers. Shoulder block exchange. Moose with 2 forearm smashes. Moose with a knife edge chop. Jonah answers with another shoulder tackle. Jonah with a knife edge chop. Jonah with a big heel throw. Alexander tags himself in. Alexander tells Moose to bring it. Alexander runs after Moose. PCO clotheslines Alexander. PCO punches Alexander in the back. Moose and PCO whips Alexander into the steel barricade. PCO rolls Alexander back into the ring. PCO with clubbing blows to Alexander's back. PCO with a backbreaker. PCO follows that with the flying leg drop. PCO applies a front face lock. PCO tags in Moose. Moose kicks Alexander in the gut. Moose with a knife edge chop. Moose sends Alexander chest first into the turnbuckles. Moose repeatedly stomps on Alexander's chest. Moose stomps on the right wrist of Alexander. Moose tags in PCO. PCO and Alexander are trading back and forth shots. Moose drives his knee into Alexander's back. Alexander knocks Moose off the ring apron. PCO kicks Alexander in the gut. Alexander with a vertical suplex. PCO blasts Jonah off the apron. Alexander with forearm shivers. Alexander with a knife edge chop. PCO reverses out of the Irish whip from Alexander. PCO with a corner clothesline. Alexander with the bridging German suplex for a 2 count. Alexander slams PCO's head on the top turnbuckle pad. Alexander puts PCO on the top turnbuckle. PCO with 3 sharp elbow strikes. PCO sends Alexander crashing into the canvas. PCO goes for the moonsault, but Alexander ducks out of the way. Moose and Jonah are tagged in. Second lariat exchange. Jonah with an inside-out lariat. Jonah with the stinger splash. Jonah follows that with the Samoan drop. Jonah goes for a running senton splash, but Moose ducks out of the way. Alexander and PCO are tagged in. PCO clotheslines Alexander. PCO clotheslines Jonah over the top rope. PCO sends Alexander tumbling to the floor. PCO with a flying cannonball senton through the ropes. PCO has Alexander draped across the apron. PCO hits the Swanton bomb on the apron. Jonah superkicks PCO. Moose responds with the pump kick. Alexander with a German suplex. Moose drop kicks Alexander. Alexander with an inside-out lariat. All hell starts breaking loose in Dallas. Jonah and PCO are knocked down after a double clothesline. Forearm exchange. Moose headbutts Alexander. Alexander kicks Moose in the face. Alexander applies the ankle lock. Moose escapes the hold. Moose denies the C4 spike. Moose retreats to the outside. Jonah spears PCO. Alexander connects with the C4 spike to pick up the victory. Winner, Josh Alexander and Jonah via pinfall. Fourth match, Jay White vs Chris Sabin. Collar and elbow tie up. White backs Sabin into the turnbuckles. The referee calls for a clean break. White with a knife edge chop. Strong lockup. Stalemate in the corner. White with a blistering chop. Sabin signals for the test of strength. Sabin applies a side headlock. Sabin transitions into a hammer lock. Sabin with a top wrist lock takedown. Wrist lock exchange. Sabin with an arm drag takeover. Sabin with a knife edge chop. White regroups on the outside. White is playing mind games with Sabin. Sabin slides out of the ring. Sabin with another chop. Sabin lands the suicide dive. Sabin poses for the crowd. Sabin with a knife edge chop. Sabin dumps White face first on the ring apron. Sabin blasts White with the PK. Sabin rolls White back into the ring. Sabin with the flying crossbody block for a 2 count. White clings onto the bottom rope. Sabin repeatedly stomps on White's back. Sabin applies a hammer lock. Sabin ties White up in a knot. White puts his foot on the bottom rope, which forces the break. Sabin slams White's head on the top turnbuckle pad. Sabin with clubbing shoulder blocks. Sabin with a running chop. Sabin gets crotchet on the top turnbuckle. White chops Sabin to the floor. White with 2 belly-to-back suplexes on the ring apron. White resets the referee's 10 count. White with another knife edge chop. White rolls Sabin back into the ring. White hooks the outside leg for a 1 count. White applies the single leg crab. Sabin grabs the bottom rope, which forces the break. White with a pendulum backbreaker for a 2 count. White applies a waist lock. Sabin fights from underneath. White drives his knee into the midsection of Sabin. White whips Sabin into the turnbuckles. White continues to chop Sabin. The referee checks on Sabin in the corner. Sabin reverses out of the Irish whip from White. White sidesteps Sabin into the turnbuckles. Sabin walks into another chop. Short arm reversal by White. Sabin ducks a chop from White. Sabin with a forearm smash. White buries his knee into the midsection of Sabin. Sabin with a spinning back kick. Following a snapmare takeover, Sabin with a step-up enziguri. Sabin decks White with a back elbow smash. Sabin ducks a clothesline from White. Sabin delivers the kitchen sink. Sabin applies a wrist lock. Sabin with 2 forearm smashes. Saban wrenches on the right wrist of White. Saban with a knee lift. Saban hammers down on the back of White's neck. Saban with a flying mid-kick. Saban with the missile drop kick for a 2 count. Saban follows that with a flying forearm across the back of White's neck. DDT exchange. Saban with the tornado DDT for a 2 count. White denies the cradle shock. Saban fights out of the fireman's carry position. Standing switch exchange. White with a snap Sato suplex. White with a massive chop in the corner. White hits the blade buster for a 2 count. Saban denies the Uranage slam. Saban with a back elbow smash. White answers with the flatliner. White with a deadlift German suplex. White follows that with the Uranage slam for a 2 count. White applies a rear chin lock. Saban backs White into the turnbuckles. Saban with clubbing elbow smashes. Saban denies the blade runner. White goes for the half and half suplex, but Saban counters with an arm drag takeover. Saban with the hell of a kick. Forearm exchange. Saban with a jumping knee strike. Second forearm exchange. White is lighting up Saban's chest. Chop exchange. Saban clotheslines White. Saban DCKS White with a back elbow smash. Saban denies the blade runner. White denies the cradle shock. Following a snapmare takeover, Saban clotheslines White. Saban goes for the cradle shock, but White lands back on his feet. White with the half and half suplex. White goes for the blade runner, but Saban rolls him over to pick up the victory. After the match, Steve Maclin attacks Saban. White delivers the low blow to Maclin and slithers out of the ring. Winner, Chris Sabin via pinfall. Fifth match, the Good Brothers vs. The Briscoes. Carl Anderson and Mark Briscoe will start things off. Collar and elbow tie up. Wrist lock exchange. Mark with a single leg takedown. Mark applies a side headlock. Anderson whips Mark across the ring. Mark drops Anderson with a shoulder tackle. Mark ducks a clothesline from Anderson. Mark unloads 3 knife-edge chops. Mark tags in Jay. Mark slams Anderson's head on the top turnbuckle pad. Jay with a running boot. Jay slams Anderson's head on another turnbuckle pad. Mark levels Anderson with the body avalanche. Mark knocks Gallows off the ring apron. Mark and Gallows are brawling on the outside. All hell starts breaking loose in Dallas. Uppercut exchange. Gallows kicks Mark in the gut. Jay rakes the eyes of Anderson. Gallows sends Mark face first into the steel ring post. Jay uppercuts Anderson. Jay rocks Gallows with a forearm smash. Anderson rakes the eyes of Jake. Anderson repeatedly stomps on Jake's chest. Anderson is choking Jay with his boot. Anderson poses for the crowd. Anderson slams Jay's head on the top turnbuckle pad. Anderson with a knife-edge chop. Anderson tags in Gallows. Gallows kicks Jay in the gut. Gallows slams Jay's head on another turnbuckle pad. Gallows with heavy body shots. Gallows whips Jay into the turnbuckles. Gallows stands on the midsection of Jay. Gallows punches Jay in the back. Gallows tags in Anderson. Gallows grabs Jay from behind. Anderson kicks Jay in the gut. Anderson knocks Mark off the apron. Second uppercut exchange. Anderson rakes the eyes of Jay. Anderson tags in Gallows. Gallows drops Jay with the big boot. Gallows with clubbing blows to Jay's chest. Gallows applies a rear chin lock. Gallows tags in Anderson. Anderson toys around with Jay. Jay is displaying his fighting spirit. Anderson continues to rakes the eyes of Jay. Anderson is raining down haymakers in the corner. Jay with a back elbow / forearm combination. Jay ducks a clothesline from Anderson. Jay tags in Mark. Mark ducks a clothesline from Anderson. Mark with a chop / uppercut combination. Gallows grabs Mark from behind. Mark kicks Anderson in the face. Mark with a step up ends Widgery to Gallows. Anderson kicks Mark in the gut. Anderson whips Mark into the turnbuckles. Mark with a back elbow smash. Mark with the exploder suplex. Mark follow that with a corner clothesline. Mark puts on Anderson to the top turnbuckle. Mark uppercuts. Mark hits the iconoclasm. Jay kicks Gallows in the face. Mark tags in Jay. Anderson denies the Jay driller. Anderson hits the spinebuster. Gallows knocks Mark off the apron. Gallows with the body avalanche. Belly to back suplex / neck breaker combination for a 2 count. Mark denies the magic killer. Gallows with the roundhouse kick. Jay super kicks Gallows. Jay tags in Mark. Anderson kicks Mark in the face. Mark with the rolling Death Valley driver. Mark kicks Gallows in the face. The referee gets distracted by Chris Bay. Jay White launches Mark off the top turnbuckle. Gallows nails Jay with the pump kick. Good Brothers connects with the magic killer to pick up the victory. Winner, the Good Brothers via pinfall. Updated Impact Rebellion 2022 Match Card 1. Trey Miguel, C, versus Ace Austin versus Mike Bailey in a triple threat match for the Impact X Division Championship 2. Jonathan Gresham, C, versus Eddie Edwards for the Raw World Championship 3. Tomohiro Ishii versus Jonah 4. Deonna Purrazzo, C, versus Taya Valkyrie for the AAA Reina de Reinas Championship 5. Jay White versus Chris Sabin versus Steve Maclin in a triple threat match 6. Tasha Steelz, C, with Savannah Evans versus Rosemary with Jessica Havoc for the Impact Knockouts World Championship 7. Moose, C, versus Josh Alexander for the Impact World Championship 6th match. Alex Shelley versus Mike Bailey. Nice display of sportsmanship after the bell rings. Collar and elbow tie up. Wrist lock exchange. Shelley applies a hammer lock. Shelley grabs a side headlock. Shelley transitions into a wrist lock. Bailey with a leg sweep for a 1 count. Side headlock takeover / head scissors escape exchange. That leads us to a quick standoff in the center of the ring. Shelley kicks Bailey in the gut. Shelley with a straight right hand. Shelley whips Bailey across the ring. Bailey backflips over Shelley. Bailey with rapid fire shoulder kicks. Bailey with a step up enziguri that sends Shelley tumbling to the floor. Bailey lands the somersault plancha. Bailey with 3 mid kicks. Bailey rolls Shelley back into the ring. Shelley with an avalanche jawbreaker. Shelley with a flying forearm smash. Shelley body slams Bailey. Shelley stomps on Bailey's throat. Shelley kicks Bailey in the back. Shelley with a baseball slide dropkick. Shelley drop kicks Bailey off the ring apron. Shelley with the slingshot pescado. Shelley unloads 3 knife-edge chops. Shelley struts around the ringside area. Shelley rolls Bailey back into the ring. Shelley slams Bailey's head on the top turnbuckle pad. Shelley with a flying knee drop for a 2 count. Shelley toys around with Bailey. Shelley blocks a boot from Bailey. Shelley scores a right jab. Shelley drops Bailey with the Fisherman's DDT for a 2 count. Shelley applies a wrist lock. Shelley transitions into a straight jacket hold. Shelley slaps Bailey in the back of the head. Shelley stomps on Bailey's back. Forearm exchange. Shelley hammers down on the left knee of Bailey. Bailey with a flying mid kick. Bailey with a spinning back kick. Bailey with an axe kick. Bailey follows that with a standard mid kick. Bailey with the twisting shooting star press for a 2 count. Shelley avoids the roundhouse kick. Shelley applies a waist lock. Bailey decks Shelley with a back elbow smash. Shelley with a flatliner into the middle turnbuckle pad. Shelley applies the Border City stretch. Bailey grabs the bottom rope which forces the break. Bailey repeatedly kicks the left hamstring of Shelley. Shelley is lighting up Bailey's chest. Shelley with a belly to back suplex. Bailey hammers down on the back of Shelley's neck. Bailey sweeps out the legs of Shelley. Bailey goes for the moonsault knee drop on the apron, but Shelley ducks out of the way. Shelley hits the slingshot DDT on the floor. Shelley drills Bailey with the brainbuster on the floor. Bailey avoids the referee's 10 count. Shelley kicks Bailey in the chest. Shelley super kicks Bailey. Shelley slides out of the ring. Bailey lands the Issei moonsault. Bailey rolls Shelley back into the ring. Bailey unloads 3 mid-kicks. Shelley rises back on his feet. Shelley with forearm shivers. Shelley kicks Bailey in the back of the head. Forearm / mid-kick exchange. Standing switch exchange. Bailey kicks Shelley in the face. Bailey with the spinning hook kick. Bailey with the PK. Bailey follows that with the standing moonsault knee drop. Bailey delivers the delayed roundhouse kick for a 2 count. Shelley avoids the windmill kick. Standing switch exchange. Shelley with the rolling elbow. Shelley drops Bailey with the Shiranui for a 2 count. Shelley goes back to the border city stretch. Bailey rolls Shelley over for a 2 count. Bailey with another roundhouse kick. Shelley struggles to get back on his feet. Bailey with the windmill kick. Bailey goes for the shooting star knee drop, but Shelley ducks out of the way. Shelley super kicks the back of Bailey's head. Bailey denies the shell shock. Bailey rolls Shelley over to pick up the victory. Winner, Mike Bailey via pinfall.